What would you do if you found out that just one small spoonful a day could help reduce your risk of heart attack, clean your arteries, and stabilize your blood sugar? This seemingly simple step is now being highlighted by cardiologists and nutrition experts as a breakthrough in preventing serious health events in people over 50. The question is, how can such a familiar food have such a powerful effect on the cardiovascular system, blood vessels, and insulin metabolism? Could this be a natural alternative to statins and anti-inflammatory medications? And more importantly, are you using it the right way to truly protect your heart and brain every day? In this video, you'll find clear, science-based, and practical answers with step-by-step explanations of how one small change can make a big difference in preventing heart attacks, strokes, and managing blood sugar after age 50. Among the hundreds of dietary fats available today, extra virgin olive oil is one of the few clinically proven to have a significant positive impact on cardiovascular health and metabolism. What sets olive oil apart is its high concentration of anti-inflammatory compounds, particularly oleocanthal. This compound has been compared to the effects of ibuprofen for its strong ability to reduce silent inflammation in the arterial walls, which is a direct cause of plaque buildup, arterial blockage, and heart attacks. In addition, olive oil contains oleic acid, a monounsaturated fat that improves cholesterol levels in a favorable direction. It lowers LDL, raises HDL, and reduces triglycerides, helping to cleanse the blood, stabilize blood pressure, and limit clot formation. Beyond its anti-inflammatory and lipid-improving effects, extra virgin olive oil is also rich in polyphenols, a group of antioxidants that directly support endothelial function. These compounds enhance vessel elasticity, improve blood flow, and reduce the risk of vascular rupture in older adults. One important point to note is that these valuable compounds are only found in extra virgin olive oil that is unrefined and cold-pressed at low temperatures. Many consumers mistakenly choose refined olive oils, which have lost most of their beneficial nutrients during industrial processing. For olive oil to truly become part of a heart and stroke prevention strategy, it must be the right type and used the right way. When consumed daily in appropriate amounts, the bioactive components in olive oil affect not only blood vessels, but also play a key role in insulin metabolism. They help stabilize blood sugar and reduce insulin resistance, another major risk factor for stroke and cardiovascular complications in older adults. These benefits do not come from a single ingredient, but are the result of synergy between multiple bioactive compounds found only in this type of oil. For this reason, olive oil should not be seen as just another dietary fat, but rather as a powerful biological agent that supports heart health and metabolic function when used correctly and consistently. After the age of 50, the cardiovascular system gradually begins to decline in both structure and function. Aging arteries become less elastic and more vulnerable to damage from high blood pressure, bad cholesterol, and chronic inflammation throughout the body. These conditions create an environment where cholesterol and platelets can more easily adhere to the arterial walls, forming atherosclerotic plaques. As these plaques grow, they narrow the arteries and significantly reduce blood flow to the heart or brain, increasing the risk of heart attack or ischemic stroke. It is important to understand that most heart attacks and strokes do not happen suddenly. They are the result of damage that has been silently accumulating for years. Many people live with undetected atherosclerosis, unaware of the risks. During that time, ongoing exposure to high blood pressure, elevated blood sugar, poor lipid profiles, chronic stress, and unhealthy dietary habits continues to damage the endothelium, the thin layer lining the blood vessels. Eventually, when a plaque ruptures, the body responds by forming a blood clot, which can completely block blood flow to the heart or brain. In addition, insulin resistance and impaired glucose tolerance become more common after 50, especially in those who are sedentary and consume high amounts of refined carbohydrates. When insulin becomes less effective, glucose builds up in the bloodstream, triggering systemic inflammation that accelerates the development of atherosclerosis. Persistently high blood sugar also directly damages endothelial cells, reduces arterial flexibility, and further promotes plaque formation. Another critical but often overlooked factor is low-grade chronic inflammation. This silent process can persist for years without clear symptoms, yet it underlies most metabolic and cardiovascular diseases in older adults. Long-term inflammation damages endothelial cells, alters vessel structure, and drives the progression of plaque buildup. Numerous studies have shown that elevated markers of inflammation, such as CRP and IL-6, are strong independent predictors of heart attack and stroke, even in people with normal cholesterol levels. Understanding these risk factors and the mechanisms behind cardiovascular disease is essential for people over 50 to take proactive steps toward prevention rather than waiting until a major event occurs. Consistent, small changes in diet, lifestyle, and daily habits can slow down atherosclerosis, stabilize blood pressure, improve blood sugar control, and, most importantly, significantly lower the risk of serious cardiovascular events. Not all oils are heart-healthy. Many people believe that simply replacing animal fats with vegetable oils is enough to protect their cardiovascular health. However, the truth is that several commonly used vegetable oils, such as soybean oil, canola oil, corn oil, and sunflower oil, can have the opposite effect when consumed regularly over time. The reason lies in their extremely high content of polyunsaturated omega-6 fatty acids. When consumed in excess and out of balance with omega-3s, these fats increase inflammation in the body. As previously explained, chronic inflammation is a key driver behind atherosclerosis, high blood pressure, and metabolic dysfunction. Additionally, most of these oils are produced through industrial refining processes that involve high heat, chemical solvents, bleaching agents, and deodorizing. These steps strip away all natural antioxidants and can generate harmful free radicals and byproducts that damage blood vessels. Extra virgin olive oil, especially when cold-pressed, stands apart. First, it contains primarily oleic acid, a monounsaturated fat known to lower LDL, maintain HDL, and reduce inflammation. Second, it retains a rich concentration of natural polyphenols, powerful antioxidants that protect endothelial cells from oxidative damage. Third, extra virgin olive oil is produced without high heat or chemical solvents, preserving its full biological value. One important point to note is that olive oil has a lower smoke point than refined oils, meaning it is not ideal for high-temperature frying. However, this lower smoke point is a sign that the oil has not been altered and still contains its active health protective compounds. When used properly, for example, drizzled over steamed vegetables, mixed into salads, or taken directly in the morning, olive oil can deliver maximum benefits for vascular protection, inflammation reduction, and lipid regulation. In summary, not all plant-based fats are heart-friendly. Extra virgin olive oil is one of the few with strong clinical evidence supporting its cardiovascular benefits, particularly when used in place of refined oils high in omega-6 or saturated fats. Choosing the right oil is not just a matter of taste, it's a critical decision that can mean the difference between disease and health for people over 50. To get the full cardiovascular benefits of extra virgin olive oil in preventing heart attacks and strokes, it's not just about choosing the right type of oil, it's also about using it correctly and in the proper amount. Clinical studies have shown that the effective dosage ranges from 1 to 2 tablespoons per day. However, for those who are new to using it or have a sensitive digestive system, it's best to start with a smaller amount, about 1 teaspoon, or roughly 12 to 15 milliliters. The ideal time to consume it is in the morning on an empty stomach, or about 10 to 15 minutes before a main meal. This helps slow the absorption of sugars and starches, supports better blood sugar control, and promotes early satiety, which may help reduce overall food intake. For individuals with digestive issues or gastritis, extra virgin olive oil can be mixed with a small amount of warm water or paired with easily digestible foods like whole grain bread or steamed vegetables to minimize irritation to the stomach lining. Beyond taking it directly, olive oil can easily become a natural part of daily meals. A common method is drizzling it over fresh salads, steamed vegetables, or grilled fish. It can also be combined with avocado or mixed with anti-inflammatory foods like walnuts and almonds to create a heart-healthy dish. When using it in cooking, it's important to avoid heating it above 160 degrees Celsius to preserve its beneficial compounds. That's why extra virgin olive oil is best suited for light steaming, gentle roasting, or adding to foods after cooking rather than for frying. By following these simple guidelines, extra virgin olive oil can serve as a powerful daily tool in protecting the heart, improving blood flow, and reducing long-term cardiovascular risk, especially in those over the age of 50. One important note is that not all products labeled extra virgin olive oil meet true quality standards. To get real health benefits, it's critical to choose genuine extra virgin olive oil. High-quality oil should have a distinct, slightly peppery aroma and a mild sting in the throat when tasted. It should not have a rancid, musty smell or a harsh, bitter aftertaste. The bottle should be dark glass to protect it from light, and the expiration date should be no more than 24 months from the pressing date. The best oils often have a shelf life of under 18 months, as polyphenol levels naturally decline over time. If you plan to use olive oil regularly, it's wise to monitor your blood pressure, blood lipids, and glucose levels to help adjust the dose and align it with your overall diet. For individuals on blood pressure medications, blood thinners, or glucose-lowering drugs, it's important to consult a doctor before using higher amounts of olive oil, as it may enhance the effects of these medications. Using extra virgin olive oil daily is not a substitute for prescribed medications, but it is a powerful adjunct in managing cardiovascular risk factors. When used in the right dose, at the right time, and from a verified source, just 1 tablespoon a day can be a key part of a long-term heart protection strategy, especially for adults over the age of 50. Although extra virgin olive oil offers significant benefits for heart and stroke prevention, improper use can greatly reduce its effectiveness and, in some cases, even have negative consequences. One of the most common mistakes is choosing the wrong type of oil. Many people believe all olive oils are the same, but in reality, only cold-pressed, extra virgin olive oil contains the full spectrum of anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compounds that support cardiovascular health. Refined or blended oils often lose these bioactive properties due to heat processing or chemical refining. As a result, if consumers don't read labels carefully or purchase oil from unreliable sources, they may be using a product that offers little to no nutritional value. A second mistake is heating olive oil beyond its safe temperature range. When olive oil is heated past its smoke point, typically between 160 and 170 degrees Celsius, its polyphenols break down and harmful free radicals can form. Many people use olive oil for high-heat frying or stir-frying as they would with industrial seed oils, which completely destroys its health benefits and may increase vascular inflammation if done consistently over time. Another common error is using excessive amounts or consuming it at the wrong time. Some individuals, after hearing about the health benefits of olive oil, start taking 2 to 3 tablespoons at a time without considering their digestive or metabolic condition. For older adults with sensitive digestion, this can cause bloating, mild diarrhea, or gastrointestinal discomfort. In addition, taking olive oil at the same time as medications for blood pressure, anticoagulants, or diabetes without monitoring key lab values can lead to unintended drops in blood pressure, increased bleeding risk, or hypoglycemia. Using extra virgin olive oil properly means selecting a high-quality cold-pressed product, avoiding overheating, starting with moderate amounts, and coordinating with your medical regimen if you're managing chronic conditions. Many people also believe that simply adding olive oil to their diet is enough to protect their heart, so they continue consuming large amounts of refined carbohydrates, sugar, and saturated fats. This is a serious mistake. Olive oil delivers its full cardiovascular benefits only when it's part of a well-rounded, heart-healthy diet. It cannot counteract the damage caused by meals loaded with processed foods, added sugars, and excess sodium. Another common oversight is improper storage. Some people keep olive oil in clear plastic bottles near the stove or in places exposed to light and heat. This accelerates oxidation and significantly reduces the polyphenol content within just a few weeks. Olive oil should be stored in dark glass bottles, kept in a cool area away from direct light, and sealed tightly after each use. Avoiding these common mistakes is the first step to ensuring that daily use of extra virgin olive oil truly supports heart health, reduces inflammation, helps regulate blood sugar, and lowers the risk of stroke, especially for adults over 50. Mr. Richer, a 67-year-old retired engineer living in Arizona, experienced a mild heart attack 3 years ago. Although he had a stent placed and took his medications regularly, his cholesterol and blood sugar levels remained dangerously high. At every checkup, his doctor warned him about the risk of another cardiac event. He often felt fatigued after meals, had limited physical activity, and struggled to manage his weight. Despite trying various strategies, eating a low-fat diet, doing light exercise, and following medical instructions, he didn't see significant improvements in his health. One day, he came across a study discussing the impact of extra virgin olive oil on heart disease and chronic inflammation. Curious, he began researching more and decided to give it a try. After consulting with his doctor and a nutritionist, he started taking 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil every morning before breakfast, while also reducing refined carbohydrates and increasing his intake of leafy greens, fatty fish, and nuts. Within just 3 months, his lab results showed a notable drop in LDL cholesterol, a nearly 20% reduction in triglycerides, and a slight increase in HDL. His fasting blood glucose became more stable, he felt full for longer, and he no longer experienced that drained, exhausted feeling after meals. Remarkably, his blood pressure also improved enough for his doctor to lower the dosage of his medications. He stopped waking up with dull headaches and no longer felt chest tightness after light physical activity. After 6 months of consistency, Mr. Richard reported significantly better sleep, healthier skin, and a reduction in inflammatory markers like CRP back to safe levels. Even though his prescription medications didn't change, simply adding 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil a day and modifying his diet gave him back a sense of control over his cardiovascular health and improved his quality of life as he approached 70. His story is far from unique. Many middle-aged and older adults in Mediterranean countries follow a similar pattern and show significantly lower rates of heart attacks and strokes compared to populations that consume large amounts of refined oils, sugar, and ultra-processed foods. This shows that the benefits of olive oil aren't just theoretical, they're reflected in real, measurable improvements in the daily lives of people living with heart disease. Incorporating olive oil into your daily meals doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. The key is to choose the right kind of extra virgin olive oil and integrate it into simple, easy-to-prepare dishes that fit the routine and dietary needs of older adults. Below is a sample 1-day meal plan designed to maximize the cardiovascular benefits of olive oil and help prevent heart attacks and strokes. Start your morning with a slice of whole grain bread drizzled with 1 teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil, served with ripe avocado or a few slices of fresh tomato. You can add a boiled egg or plain Greek yogurt to help increase satiety without causing a spike in blood sugar. A glass of warm water with a few drops of lemon juice before the meal can also aid digestion. For a mid-morning snack, opt for a small portion of almonds, walnuts, or berries like blueberries or strawberries. These foods are rich in antioxidants and fiber, which support healthy cholesterol levels and reduce vascular inflammation. Avoid pastries, packaged snacks, and commercial fruit juices. Lunch is an ideal time to incorporate olive oil into a salad. A bowl of leafy greens like kale or spinach, topped with grilled salmon or shredded steamed chicken, tomatoes, chia seeds, and 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil will provide healthy fats, fiber, and protein. Add a serving of lentil soup or well-cooked oatmeal to increase soluble fiber intake and maintain fullness longer. For an afternoon snack, choose low-sugar fruits like apples or pears, or a cup of unsweetened almond milk. If you need a light energy boost, you can mix in a teaspoon of olive oil to help keep blood sugar steady. Dinner should be light, with steamed or boiled vegetables such as broccoli or spinach, paired with steamed fish or tofu. Drizzle 1 teaspoon of olive oil on the vegetables after cooking to preserve antioxidant content. If additional carbohydrates are needed, a small portion of brown rice or boiled sweet potato is a good choice. Before bedtime, it's best not to eat. However, if a light source of energy is needed, 1 teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil mixed in warm water can help stabilize overnight blood sugar, aid digestion, and reduce midnight hunger. Beyond this sample meal plan, viewers can adapt meals to suit their personal preferences and food availability, as long as they follow the core principles. Use high-quality extra virgin olive oil in the proper amount, avoid heating it at high temperatures, and combine it with foods that are high in fiber, low in refined sugars, and low in saturated fats. In recent years, numerous studies have confirmed the strong link between gut health and cardiovascular health, showing that the gut microbiota functions as a key regulator of immunity, metabolism, and the body's inflammatory response. Extra virgin olive oil, especially cold-pressed varieties rich in polyphenols, is not only known for its direct heart protective effects, but also for its deep impact on the balance of gut microbiota, an influence that indirectly but powerfully affects systemic inflammation and the risk of atherosclerosis. Once consumed, phenolic compounds in olive oil such as oleoropin and hydroxytyrosol are not fully broken down in the stomach. They pass into the intestines where they serve as selective nourishment for beneficial bacteria, particularly bifidobacteria and lactobacilli. The growth of these beneficial bacteria promotes the production of short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs, such as butyrate, propionate, and acetate. These compounds reduce inflammation, strengthen the intestinal barrier, and improve blood sugar regulation. A healthy intestinal barrier limits the leakage of endotoxins like lipopolysaccharide (LPS) into the bloodstream, thereby preventing the chronic inflammatory cascade directly linked to endothelial injury and plaque formation. Large-scale epidemiological research, most notably the Predimed trial in Spain, has shown that people following a Mediterranean diet rich in extra virgin olive oil had significantly lower blood levels of CRP and IL-6 compared to those on a low-fat diet. This evidence indicates that beyond improving lipid profiles, olive oil also exerts immune-modulating and systemic anti-inflammatory effects through its positive influence on gut microbiota. Another key benefit is that olive oil helps limit the overgrowth of gut bacteria that convert choline and L-carnitine, found abundantly in red meat and eggs, into trimethylamine, TMA. The liver then oxidizes TMA into TMAO, a compound strongly associated with increased risk of atherosclerosis and adverse cardiovascular events. By promoting the diversity and dominance of bacterial strains that produce little or no TMA, olive oil helps reduce TMA accumulation in the blood and protects arteries from inflammation and fibrosis. In addition, the polyphenols in olive oil have powerful antioxidant effects, neutralizing free radicals and protecting cellular DNA from damage. When combined with their ability to modulate the microbiome, these effects form a dual mechanism, preventing the inflammatory trigger at its source in the gut while suppressing inflammatory responses already present in the circulatory system. On a systemic level, improving the microbial environment and lowering baseline inflammation directly enhance endothelial function, allowing blood vessels to remain more flexible, respond better to changes in pressure, and reduce the risk of clot formation. This is especially important for middle-aged and older adults who are at higher risk for endothelial dysfunction and coronary artery disease. Olive oil's positive effect on gut microbiota also plays a role in supporting weight loss and maintaining a healthy weight, as a balanced microbiome helps regulate appetite hormones such as leptin and ghrelin, while improving insulin sensitivity, an essential factor in preventing metabolic syndrome. All of these factors together create a clear picture. Extra virgin olive oil is not only a heart-healthy fat, but also a natural prebiotic that nourishes beneficial gut bacteria and indirectly protects cardiovascular health by controlling inflammation and improving vascular function. Regular consumption of 1 to 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil per day, combined with a diet rich in leafy greens, fatty fish, and whole nuts, can create the ideal environment for a healthy microbiome, building a strong foundation for long-term heart health. Heart attacks and strokes are two serious events that can strike without warning, but they are largely preventable if we understand the underlying mechanisms and make proactive changes, starting with the smallest habits. Extra virgin olive oil is not a miracle cure, but it is one of the few foods scientifically proven to reduce inflammation, improve cholesterol, support endothelial function, and help stabilize blood sugar. When used properly each day alongside a balanced diet and healthy lifestyle, it can make a real difference in protecting your heart and brain. What matters most is taking action while you still have the chance. Don't wait until complications arise to make changes. 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil a day won't change your life in a week, but it might save your life 10 years from now. Start with breakfast. Start with how you shop for groceries. Start with reading labels more carefully and understanding what your body truly needs. If you found this information helpful, please share it with your loved ones. And don't forget to follow this channel so you won't miss practical, science-backed health content that helps you stay strong and well after 50. Heart health is the foundation for a safe and independent life as we age, and that choice starts with you today.